Hello guys, everything it's fine. How are you doing? For today's tutorial, things are gonna go a little bit different. Once a member of the Discord server asked me how something is done, and I was like, let me try it, and I'm gonna solve that somehow. At first, it seemed as it was just simple, but you have to do some work around. Let me show you. So as you can see, we are having three objects that are following terrain, and they are moved by the empty. And I was like, that's shrink wrap, and that's all. They're just following it. But if you scale this empty, the objects are not scaled. Instead, they're moving around. So let me show you how everything is done, and don't forget to like the video. Let me just save and get a new Blender scene. So for the moment I'm gonna leave this cube around. It's gonna be helpful for me. Let's bring something for the whole thing to stay on. So maybe I think about going for Lake 2. That's just gonna be something different, not the same terrain like what I've done when I was testing it. So I'm gonna move this monkey around here. And let's also bring a cylinder, so that's gonna be visible. The light can go. Okay, so the basics of it are working in this way. You're going to constraints, and there you're having shrink wrap constraint. Then we just select the object that we want to shrink wrap on, and now the object is following the terrain by the origin point, so it's exactly in the middle, snapped with the geometry, something like that. Maybe I'm gonna change the mode to target normal, so it's a little bit smoother. Now of course project is the smoothest, but I found that it's having some errors when I put the other constraints. First off, maybe I'm gonna work only with one object. So the first part is done already, so the object is following the terrain. I'm gonna bring an empty, let's say still a cube, and then we need some other constraints like copy location. I'm gonna move it first. We have to make sure that's gonna be first, and then the shrink wrap modifier it's taking over. Because if shrink wrap is first, then copy location is not gonna continue to follow the terrain. Okay, copy location, we put the empty, and we need to check offset. Okay, so now when we are moving, that's what's happening. So that's pretty good, but when we are scaling, nothing is happening. If we done instead, let's say, just select both, then Ctrl P to parent, is doing pretty much the same thing, but if you are scaling the empty, you are scaling also the object, which it's not exactly what you want. So let me just bring the constraint back. Okay, then we need one more constraint, which is gonna be transformation. Again, that's gonna be first or before the shrink wrap. Target, let's select the empty. Then we go to map from scale. We change the max value to 100 from 100 on all the axes, the same. Then to map to, we choose location, we leave it to location just like that, and we put again 100. So for every single % of scaling there is gonna be movement just like that. So that's basically it, and you have to do that for every single object. I'd wish to be possible, like to select everything then Ctrl L, but we cannot copy constraints, so you have to do that for every single object. And it's pretty cool because you can just leave these objects without the shrink wrapping object, and then you bring them into your environment scene and you just set the object that you want to shrink wrap on. So you go here, tangent, then copy location. So that's pretty good when you want to make some scattering details onto the environment, but some bigger details, not just the smaller one. Transformation, you go up, then let's see scale, also let's select the target, 100, 100, 100. Map to. Okay, so now they both follow the cube. If I'm scaling, that's what's happening. Of course, if I don't like exactly how it's staying, I can move it around, then it will stay like that. So you can adjust the objects all together, or if you want to go a little bit more detailed, like let's say in your case you do not like that object staying there and you want it a little bit right, that's it. Also you can rotate it. And maybe what I can do also, it's just a testing. Okay, so what I've tried to test exactly was if you're adding another transformation constraint and you map it from rotation, you put just 0 to 36, 360 for every single one, and then again map as a location. If you are rotating the empty, you still move the objects around, which is pretty cool. So in this case we can move the objects around. Of course you can do it for many more objects, and when you are ready just to copy them and put them in another scene, let's say I'm just gonna copy for the moment what's here, then I'll do another scene in Blender, a new scene in Blender, and I'm just gonna go, let's say, a simple landscape, just like that. Then Ctrl V. Why did I copy also that? Okay, so now they're in the same location, but if I'm going to constraints and shrink wrap here, you go here, and as simple as that, you go here, and then they are doing exactly what I want them to do, which is pretty fine. Hopefully you liked the video and you learned something new. That was the tutorial for today. See you into the next one. Bye.